It was just another day. Sun came up in the morning, no clouds.
Good evening. For those that don't know me, I'm Professor Robert Stable, the Vice Chancellor of this wonderful institution, and I'd like to recognise each and every one of you as colleagues, friends, staff, students, basically bondies, and I'd particularly like to recognise Dr. Marie-Claire Patron, the author of the book that we're here to celebrate tonight. I'd like to recognise her parents, the Dean of the Faculty, Professor Raoul Mortley, who is going to say a few words. Is probably one of the few people. I know there are some in the audience who could actually speak and do the whole presentation in French, but I'm trusting for people like me, one of the linguistic people, that he won't do that. But of course everybody else here who are here to celebrate this launch, welcome indeed. I'm really standing representing Bond University Press as well as the university. I can't think of a more suitable person to write the book, although Marie-Claire assures me it's not her diary. And in that she has actually researched, done extensive research on this subject. Very interesting reading for people who actually do believe and want to know more and want to do better on internationalism. And encourage, and that's of all universities in this country, this university is probably the most committed to internationalism. I think it's therefore a very timely publication for us to review, particularly as we review what we're doing in this field.
A very warm welcome to Marie-Claire's parents, Arlette and Clément. And we first met when I was a tutor at Monash University. I think it must have been in '66. Marie-Claire, then we had a certain conversation about her name, which I won't go into, but she reported back to me that her mother said, "Who does that man think he is?" Marie-Claire, then in one of my frequent comings and goings to the university and slides up and down the greasy pole, I of course came to be Marie-Claire's boss once again, and for the third time, and thought that I would encourage her to realise her full potential. She'd kind of been drifting a bit, I felt, and I believed that she could complete her PhD, and pushed her and prodded her and expressed my faith in her. She did complete it, went very well. She then quickly published it in Europe and has quickly published a second book. So it's been an enormous gathering of personal self-confidence and self-expression in which she's now found her true voice. The book speaks to me personally because as a foreign student in another country, namely France, I lived through a lot of these kind of things, the culture shock thing, and in particular the passage on reverse culture shock towards the end, where Nathalie, whose diary is being commented on, goes back to France and experiences a period of cultural readjustment and depression, melancholy, and so on, and even fear. Those things all spoke to me after my 8 years altogether living in France and coming back to Australia and feeling a deep sense of gloom, thinking to myself, how can I possibly live here again? And laying all sorts of plans about going back, and just talked to Susie Ting, who told me she did something similar, only came back to Australia with a return ticket to England in her pocket, just in case. I did all those sorts of things and sundry plots to get visiting professorships and all. I'm really delighted to be asked to launch the book. I feel a great sense of personal pride in having, I suppose, if it's not too much to say, acted as something of a mentor to Marie-Claire and given her a lot of encouragement. And it's great to see a beautiful butterfly blooming out of what was there before. So as the years go by, more and more beautiful butterfly. So I do congratulate her on the book. It's a great achievement for the Bond University Press as well. I understand that the referees of the book were extremely flattering. So without further ado, I declare the book launched and hand back to the Vice-Chancellor.
It's actually true that in institutions such as ours, you actually need leaders who raise the bar, if you like, in various areas. You need lots of people in different areas of the university, but it's fair to say, as I'm sure you'd agree, that Raoul raises or attempts to raise the cultural and philosophical bar for the university, and that's excellent. His presentation, his summary was very deep, very broad, very deep, and I thought it was excellent. So. And now the person of the moment, Dr. Marie-Claire, to speak about it.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here today at the book launch, my second book. It's very, very gratifying to be here after these years, 18 years of working very, very hard to get to where I am. But I need to thank everyone here, starting from the Vice-Chancellor. A very special thank you to my Dean, who has not only been my Dean, but has also been my mentor. As he said himself, he stole my words, for the last 18 years. So Raoul has been there for me and really encouraged me. And in times when I thought everything was becoming far too overwhelming, whether it's a research or academic task, Raoul, you threatened to send me an email every single day reminding me that I could do it. So thank you for the vote of confidence. On the other hand, my partner, Robert, would simply have called me a prima donna. Now, I would like to thank very much the board of Bond University Press, headed by Professor Gary Marchand and Professor Paul Wilson. Thank you especially to Antoinette Cass. And thank you to my dear friend, Susie Ting and Robin Lincoln. Susie has been through all the histrionics with me for the last couple of weeks, trying to get ready for this. Thank you to my dearest friend, hiding in the corner, Edie Hart, who has designed the cover of the book.